Welcome back to the channel. Today we're finally doing the DentStroke powerstroke update video that I've been meaning to do for a long time. So without further ado, here's the truck. First little attempt at some B-roll of this truck. Never really done it before, so I don't know. Maybe this might not even make sense. I might just cut it because we'll see how it turns out. But this is what it currently looks like. Now, it's been a couple issues of why it's been taking so long. Mostly because I went to another shop. Now, you may ask, why was it going to another shop? I could do all this, sure, but didn't really have time. So during the week, I'm a carpenter. I work for my dad. It's my dad's truck, and we've been so busy the past few years, it's unreal. And I just have zero time to do anything. So, but anyway, so I went to another shop, and they basically just did cab work. Did this paint, which came out good from afar, but when you get really into it, I don't know. It's just, we'll see what happens. I might try to buff it, or maybe I think I might buff it and re-clear it, see if we can get some of it to look a little better. And you'll see that at some point. But I need to figure out a dash situation. Might be trying to go with like a Dakota Digital, or maybe even I might try to get a Holly and then make it work for this motor, because I want to be able to see all the schematics and stuff. I don't want to put the 90s dash in here. That would be the easiest. I can just put a 90s dash like the one out of that truck, or the one I have from the motor, from this motor and trans. But this is what it looks like so far. I went there for a lot of cab work and firewall reconstruction. Now this motor does need the electronic pedal from a 90s truck. I didn't realize that till after I already scrapped the body, so I had to go find that out of a salvage yard, but of course I have one. This is a 5-speed ZF6. This thing's going to be super sweet. Might need to raise it up a little because it's fairly short. The inside doors came out fabulous. Like the paint looks really good at spots. But like right here, for example, you can see like a dust particle that got painted over. There's a couple of them. The deeper you look, the more they're kind of all over the place in it. But I mean, it looks good. I really like this color. This was, I guess, the second try color from them, because Advanced Auto, when they originally mixed it, it came out like red, not like maroon. So they had to get remixed. This is what it came out as, and it's awesome. This is the color we wanted. This dash is in beautiful condition. I mean, there's not even a crack or anything on this piece. But I guess I did a lot of like little welding up here, because the top band, I guess, was a little rusty, like down behind. I mean, this is technically like a complete rust-free cab now, and it will close. Just gotta kind of slam it. But I mean, this thing's beautiful. This cab is beautiful. The bed's kind of getting rusty because now this is not going to hurt anything. This is so minor, it's not even funny. I'm going to reprime it. I'm going to re-sand it and reprime it. But the bed's going to be last because I want to hook up all the dump, fuel tank stuff while this is not here. It just makes it easier if I can reach over. So the decking is going to go on last. I do have metal sheets for that. I've had for years. Let's pop the hood for you. Oh, I picked up these militaries, which are actually the same tire I have on my truck. Bought those ones. Those are all pretty much brand new used. The guy went down south and got a shit ton of them. These ones I got used, the whole set, $500. Then they were just kind of thrown on there. This one's backwards. That side's backwards. This one's right. That one's right. So it makes you kind of think somebody put two on wrong. But anyway, in the suspension here, I need to put the moving shackle in the back there, or else this is just going to rattle apart. I might need to stiffen this up a little bit. We kind of use it as a tow point. You get it up on a trailer. But all in all, this motor, unfortunately, is going to be coming back out. Now I have a couple parts motors for it, but it's because of that hole. That hole leaks coolant, and it's already been JB welded once, and it came off. JB Weld doesn't really hold with heat cycles. So anyway, it didn't work. So I have another one inside. The problem is, to get that cover off, it's attached to the oil pump in the base. So you need to drop the pan. And I only want to drop this pan once and just do it right. So what I'm going to do is pull the motor, flip it back over, take this front cover off, and then reseal the pan, because these get sealed with silicone. So what the protocol is to flip it over and then seal it. That way no oil runs back down, any residual oil. I don't even think there's any oil in this thing. But anyway, that's how it's supposed to be done. So besides that, I have the wiring harness sort of halfway run. The motor stuff kind of stayed. I put in the truck side harness. That's the big fuse box, and that's going to be mounted. Pretty much I'm going to use this stick here. I want to save this front spot. I want to put a double battery in that tray. I have another tray for this year truck. I'm just going to flip it over and put it on this side. Now you can see all the cutting they did all back there to fit this motor, and it also has a 3-inch body lift to just be able to clear everything to where everything wants to sit. So firewall got cut and remolded, and this thing got lifted up a little bit just to clear this motor even better. Now the good part about this motor is, even ideally if this didn't have body lift in it, it would be easier because those valves, the valve cover would be a little higher. But the way it sits now, if anything happens, I can pop that valve cover off so quickly. And especially where these trucks, they don't have an intercooler. Now I could run an intercooler, but I honestly don't want to. Hindsight, that's a good reason why I went with an OBS motor. If you went with a Super Duty, they come with an intercooler, and intercoolers improve performance, no doubt. Makes air colder, makes everything better. But putting in a truck like this, it does not matter. It really doesn't matter to me. Simplicity is the best part about it. And not having an intercooler just makes it easier to run. Just run everything. So down here also, another reason why I'm just going to pull the motor is because that one's stuck, and I've tried, and not extremely hard, but I tried a little bit. But if this motor's out, I'm just going to yank them, and I can cut that out or put more. I can just try harder pretty much to get that one out, because that I do need to re-gasket pretty much that side. I think something messed up there, I don't remember, but either way. So I'm gonna re-gasket the manifolds. I might pull a better manifold off another motor that I have to put on it. We'll see which ones look better. And then just switch front covers, reseal the bottom, because while it's out, I'm just going to reseal it properly. And then we're just going to slide this thing back in here. Now to take this motor out, I am just going to remove this front radiator support. Because obviously there's literally nothing in the way at that point. It's so open, it's not even funny. But I don't know. There's a couple things I do wish would have happened differently. Now, this truck was supposed to go back. The problem with it going back Well, one, Dad didn't want to pay them any more money, I think, is the main reason. Now, I think I kind of look like the bad guy there because I kind of look like I canceled on them, which I did. About a week, maybe a week and a half out from when they were scheduled to have it, they called to clarify. I told them I can't get it down there because it doesn't run still, and my trailer doesn't have a winch till now. I just put that winch on, but the trailer I used that did have a winch had a forklift on it, and it's not mine. I was not going to push the guy and ask him to see if he can get it off because it's not my trailer, it's not my business, and I'm not going to push him to do something for me when it doesn't benefit him any. So there was no way I could get this even back there to him. And the guy was kind of pissed. They're the receptionist dude. Now the mechanics in there, they're great dudes. I like them. The problem was they kept pushing this thing off. This was originally supposed to be completely done before the new year, and then it got pushed back to New Year, which was fine because if it was done in I think July or January rather, when they told me it was going to be done, I could have gotten it back in the winter, finished it, put the gas tank in, put the wiring in, and finished it, and had it good for last summer. The problem was it kept getting pushed back, and it got pushed back to February. Didn't get done. It got pushed back till like April, and then come April they're like, "Yep, we rescheduled the appointment for the middle of July." So I was like, "Oh, awesome!" So now I lost the season. There was no way if I got it back in July anyway that I would have had this done, and then winter would have rolled around, and now it's December, but we still barely had snow, so it's been a mild winter for us. But still, this isn't going to be run in the winter. I mean, it's a beautiful truck, and just no, it's not. We don't need it for the winter, so it's not going to be run in the winter. So it wouldn't have been done. So Dad didn't want to bring it back and have it sit there again, and then have something get canceled, and then have it sit there forever, and then really just never get it done. So I brought it back, and the idea was to get it running, but then I was so busy, it was not even funny. There was no way I could even do it. So now this is going to be another winter project. I just got to pull the motor, reseal it, throw it back in there, then the motor's done. And then I just got to finish running. The wires out here are good. I need to run the internal wiring. Now, I'm going to need to run the 70s cab wiring and front end wiring, so I get the lights to work the way they're meant to with this bad board. And I want to get all the right lights to work and everything with the 70s stuff. And then I just need to make it so I can pretty much start it. Now, I did get a little push button, dude. It's from Napa. They had it on the shelf. Ideally, I'd like to use the 70s key thing, and really, I should only have to change a couple things. I just need to get, but the problem is that there's different formats. I can make it work, but I'm no wiring wizard. I actually despise wiring. So for now, it might just be a push button, and then I want to get maybe a Holly dash so I can read all the info that this motor's putting out. And but anyway, this is what the rear end looks like. I had to slide those mounts over because I forget where they were. I think they were here. I think they were over there, and then I had to slide them over to there because these have these old dualies, these 70s dualies, had thinner frames. Now, one reason they had thinner frames is just because back then the dualies, they didn't want them to be like super wide like they are now. And so they thinned the frame a little bit. That's partly why the gas tank was in the cab. I can't see it. The gas tank originally in this truck was behind the seat, and that's because you can't fit a regular gas tank in here because it's too thin. So what we're probably going to do is I might actually take out of this truck the front gas tank, the thinner one. The rear one's the kind of the box, like the generic box ones, but the front one's the thinner one that we've all known about forever now, pretty much since the 90s. And we'll maybe might just slide it right in there, or I'll make it fit right here. Either way, we're gonna make that work. Now, it has a mechanical PTO that ran off the old Granny 4-speed. The problem with that is with the ZF5 in here now, those PTOs are made specifically for that tranny because of the gears. The gears are the same hardness, just in same ratios. So to make it work on that, now I don't know if it'll fit in the ZF5. has a PTO spot, but it's not a PTO for this tranny, so I don't even want to try it. So I want to get an electric pump, and we'll go from there. Now I did pick up this bad bird, and it does have it has an electric hydraulic pump, kind of weird, but it's in the engine bay, and so I might take that off honestly and stick it on this thing, and then we'll go from there. And then I need to get the drive shaft made. I need to make extended sway bar end links, because I definitely want a sway bar in the rear of this truck. That is no doubt. And then I don't know. We'll see what happens. I want to see how bad the rear axle kind of wobbles, because I might do the rear traction bars like I have in my trucks to, mitigate that issue, where it's such a long wheelbase, such a long axle, and this thing's going to be, and it's just totally different with the amount of torque the powerstroke puts out versus it used to be a 306, so totally different. There's a lot of springs. It's fairly tall, and then with the lift block in the rear, I'm not sure how it'll work. I definitely think I want those traction bars, just to make it work better. Now, I'm going to be taking probably a little lift out of this front, because it'll just be easier. When I'm in there, I'm going to need to cut down the rear to put that sway bar, or the shackle. I think I'm going to lower it enough, because when you do look down it, you can see it at certain angles, I guess. It does have a little bit of a squat. It's literally just like an inch, so don't be that guy. And it's not what I want with this. I want this thing to sit level, and then so I think when I do that up front, I'll just make it sit level. I'll just trim it, and we'll be good to go. And then we just got to get our angles right for the front drive shaft, and we're just gonna hook all this stuff back up. Anything I need to make. The good thing is a couple of these bars, they mounted right to the cross member, and I used the 90s cross member in this thing, welded it right in there. So I think we'll be pretty good to go. I mean, now I'm thinking about the list isn't that long. It's just the wiring is going to be such a pain for me, because I hate wiring, and really I've been putting it off, but I shouldn't have, and here we are now. But anyway, so here's a little update video, and I hope you guys like it, and we'll be getting back to this thing. This thing, hopefully by next summer, is going to be a machine. He's been talking about putting dump sides on there, make it kind of look like the old Tonka truck, so it's tall in the front, and kind of it'll gradually go down to the back. I think it would look sweet. Maybe we'll make it removable. I don't know. We're going to start with the thing is, now he bought a dump truck, so it doesn't necessarily need sides on it, but this thing is big, so it'd be cool. Also be cool to put a big rack on there, so it carry staging real good, or I don't know. Anyway, I have a bunch of steel. I'm gonna make a really cool headache rack for it, and then from there, if we want sides, we add the sides of the rack. If you want a rear rack, I can make a rear rack so it can disappear. One thing I was thinking of, making the front rack obviously gonna stay, but the rear rack can maybe pull out, and then maybe make a spot up here, so when you're not using it, it just sits up flush with the front rack, and then you have this whole deck space, and you'll be good to go. So I don't know, something like that. But I don't know. I love looking at this truck. We'll see how everything shakes out. But till next time, thanks for watching. I hope you guys like this truck, and really I wanted to put more videos. It's been tied up at the other shop for it was there for almost a year, and then it's been here for 6 months now. So it's been kind of my bad. Nothing's happened the last 6 months, but the year before that, there was nothing I could really do about it. But thanks for watching, and hope you guys have a good day, and let me know what your favorite part about this truck is.